Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Dark Elves versus the Warriors of Chaos, and they have brought very similar banners, so my apologies in advance, but it would appear their names are in a foreign language. We do have E versus the dreaded barcode here, so we'll see how this one goes. Certainly excited to see Malekith face off against Valkia. Now, as far as the Druchii army goes, front line is going to be Bleak Swords, and Bleak Swords a nice chaff unit, pretty good stat line, low HP for sure at 7.5 when you compare that against some of the Chaos units. They have 9,000, but you know what? For their price point, they get the job done with 36, 32, and 32. Now, the big epicenter of the build is going to be the Double Medusa. Now, Medusas in this patch are insanely good. Not like quite as oppressive as like Soul Grinders of Tzeentch, for example. They're a lot more vulnerable with only 30 armor, very vulnerable against missiles, being dove by anti-large characters. But Medusas definitely thump. They're able to mess up infantry pretty badly. They also do very well against these type of cavalry units and do have anti-large if need be. So it is going to be Double Medusa here with Malekith, the Witch King, being the Lord. And this guy's got style for sure. You can bring the Supreme Sorcerers for a little bit cheaper and it's basically the same thing. But the real Chads of Warhammer bring Malekith. So he's got Soul Stealer, which is an awesome spell. It's going to be healing him and nuking things in an AoE. Chillwind as well. Gaze of Malice is something that Malekith does have over the Supreme Sorcerers. That is quite good, and this is really good for clearing out light infantry and light cavalry, things like that. So use it against the Horsemen, use it against some Marauders, and you're going to be having a good time. And yeah, what items did he bring? Okay, he's got Destroyer, which, okay, gives a little bit of a spell resist action as well as cooldown shenanigans, and then the Circlet of Iron for the power recharge. All right. Now, looking here at the Warriors of Chaos Unga Bunga, it's going to be a very mobile army, a lot of Marauder Horsemasters, a couple of which have silver chevrons, actually. And the main core is going to be a couple of Marauders and Chaos Warriors here. It looks like we've got Marauders, Chaos Warriors, Valkia the Bloody, pretty classic in this matchup. She's pretty good at hunting the characters. Also a pretty solid counter against the Medusas because she's infantry-sized, so the anti-large of the Medusa won't really do anything against her, and she can also get in and use her anti-large against them. Anything in the woods, it looks like it is going to be a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire with the Burning Head. So solid builds from both players, a little bit unorthodox, but very, very fun stuff. Chaos going to be using their swift speed to grab the initiative here on the battlefield, while we do have some Bleak Swords camping in the bushes here for the Druchii. And the Dark Elves will be grabbing Objective 1 and just looking to fight for Objective 2 here. All right, all right. This is one of the decent maps that CA made. This is Arnheim. And man, I really hope we can get some maps added. Oh, look at the Chillwind there. Oh, the sneaky plays, the Frostbite, lowering the speed so the Dark Riders could actually catch them and get some kills. All right, that wasn't a terrible idea. You can see the Dark Riders getting in there, getting the charge, but Valkia the Bloody is going to be coming in and changing the nature of this fight. It looks like Malekith decided to go elsewhere, maybe looking to get a breath attack on these Marauder Horsemen. A little bit hard to say, but you can see the Medusa ripping a nice shot into the Marauder Horsemen there, doing fat damage. The Bloodrack Medusa as well as the Siren of Red Ruin. Pretty good answer against these skirmishers. Now back in this fight, we do see the Gaze of Malice go down to the Horsemasters, does some okay damage, but the Dark Riders do get warded off by Valkia. Valkia, of course, very good against them, but now she looks like she's going to be picking a bit of a bigger fight here. She does decide to hunt Malekith. Will the Medusas turn around and try and shoot Valkia? She chases Malekith. Malekith could probably win this in a straight up fight, but from a cost perspective, Valkia costs like half, and it would be a pretty close fight. So it's not a good fight for Malekith. And he decides to land on the ground, luring Valkia down. Will there be some support coming in? No, looks like he's just going to be taking the fight. Up on the high ground, undisturbed, Warriors of Chaos chilling out on that point. Chaos does have Objective 2, and they are going to be calling in a Feral Manticore. And now you can see the Medusas being harried and harassed pretty heavily here by all of these Marauder Horsemasters, which is exactly what they want to be doing, using their high missile strength to punish. And Valkia does get countercharged by a lot of light cavalry here, the Dark Riders, and her Demon Shield is now gone, so she can be taking damage. For the duration of that fight, she was using the Demon Shield ability on Valkia, which makes her immune to damage. Burning Head coming in for the Warriors of Chaos, a bit of a miss. We do see the Chaos Sorcerer hiding in the trees here, and looks like the Manticore is going to be duking it out with the Bloodrack Medusa. But this thing is an anti-large fighter ROR, so its stat line is going to be pretty sweet, and the Dark Riders do get the Envelop, which is going to be a little bit of topical damage. Nothing too crazy, but the Manticore will lose this fight, especially with the Dark Riders nearby, and there is going to be some Dark Shards being called in to put a little bit of peppering fire support in if need be. But Warriors of Chaos are anchoring the objectives very well. We do see the value lead lying in the clutches of the Warriors of Chaos. Malekith, though, does have healing, and that is going to be a decent little Chillwind there. Doesn't do much damage. I would recommend not using Chillwind. I think it's kind of a cute thing, but overall, just saving that Winds of Magic for Soul Stealers is going to be exponentially more competitive. You're going to get so much damage value, but also it heals Malekith for, what, 12% of his HP, give or take, which is a ton when you're on a huge dragon, right? So Coldwind Knight's called in. Valkia being a real bully this game. She's been kind of having her way here, but the Manticore does get taken apart. A timing Burning Head here by our Chaos player. No, that was actually a Sleipnir. So really, really good targeting here by our Warriors of Chaos player. I bet you there's some like forbidden players who play ladder, like who just don't even know that there's good maps in a competitive scene out there, and like they could be super solid, right, if they came into tournaments. Yeah, hopefully when we eventually get some sort of multiplayer maps added, we'll start to see that. That would be really cool. So Gaze of Malice going down on the Marauders, not a bad one. The Medusas with the down the pipe shot, and here we do see Valkia. It's like the cinematic trailer all over again, surrounded by high mass Golden Knights. She will win this fight, but it's going to take a while. They have good leadership and good durability by Dark Elf standards. Manscore going to be sweeping back in, does get a nice little charge there on the Siren, but the Siren does get knocked over instead of taking damage. That's a little bit dicey. The Druki are on the advance now. We see Dread Spears and Blackheart Corsairs moving up, but Chaos Warriors will have a very decisive victory over Dread Spears. Man, these guys literally picked the two banners that are like the most troll. A Burning Head miscast, we've all been there. You guys have seen me do that on stream. Sometimes you double click it with a bit of an erection there and it can miss. But the Soul Stealer finally being cast by Malekith, which is going to be routing off the Manscore most likely, although looks like it's hanging in there. 31 leadership. That Manscore did not hear any bell whatsoever. Valkia is still trapped up. Cold Blue Knights do get countercharged by the Hellstriders of Slaanesh, but that's actually a good fight for them, so they're probably grateful for that. And the Witch King, will he get the killing blow on the Manscore? Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z. It looks like he tail whipped some of his fellow Druki, very lore friendly, I'm sure. And the two Medusas are still going. The Siren of Red Rune is in good shape. The other Bloodrack Medusa very much alive. Their anti-large halberds will be very useful against some of these units. Malekith looks like he's going to go for a bit of a pick here on the Chaos Sorcerer, which is a great call. Getting rid of that Burning Head would be excellent for a lot of the Dark Elf infantry. It's extremely good at clearing out Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, and all those different pieces there. Malekith does connect twice, and the Chaos Sorcerer is going to be running for the hills. 35 leadership, and will he be free? Yes, he will. Nothing's going to get him. So Malekith fighting in the pits. High ground objective is owned by the Warriors of Chaos, uncontested. We still have the dreaded tactical reserves in the bushes, but it looks like some of the Bleak Swords will now move out because a Bleak Sword versus a Marauder, interesting fight. I don't know who actually wins that. I think if Murderous Prowess is active, the Bleak Sword will, but otherwise I think it's a pretty even little duel there. Chaos Marauders are not slouches. And here's another huge Soul Stealer, so that's going to be a money one for sure. It hits Valkia, hits some of the Chaos Warriors and Marauders there, as well as the reinforcing Hellstriders. And it, like, the double Soul Stealer that we've seen is probably eclipsed the value gap. Like, it's probably pretty damn close, although Malekith in a bit of a dicey situation. The Chaos player here has 4 Marauder Horsemen sitting nearby, all of whom can put their firepower into Malekith, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. You can see the orders being given. Malekith, the Witch King, is going to be forced to pull back. A little chill wind going down. It does nail those Chaos Warriors, but doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. Now, taking a bit of a macro look at the battlefield, we do see the Sisters of Singing Doom coming in. All right. These ladies do cause terror, so apparently they sing and get a little bit crunk when they're moving in, so they will be able to terror route, and also, you know, terror routing these trolls, not bad. Sleipnir going down by the Warriors of Chaos does manage to hit both Dread Spears, and now the Manscore. This Manscore is going hard. 400 HP, -8 leadership. I think he's finally going to break and run. Only 400 value, but he's been very disruptive. And now Valkia decides to move in. She's lucky that these aren't the rampaging, Witch Elves of old. But the Sisters of Singing Doom do have anti-infantry, so they should be able to help out against Valkia. Malekith 2,000 HP, Valkia sitting at about 3. And the Sisters are chewing a lot of HP off Valkia. That anti-infantry is no joke. Blackheart Corsairs fighting up here. Sirens of Red Ruin, is it still active? I think one Medusa did get taken down and or broken. We still do have the basic Bloodrack Medusa, which is going to be getting chased by the Chaos Sorcerer and some Marauders. Very, very close to dying here, so it could go down. But Valkia getting karate chopped here by the Sisters of Singing Doom could be the turning point in this game. The anti-infantry bonus paying huge dividends here, although we do see the Demon Shield active, so Valkia is going to be indestructible for a short period of time. Really, really good play by our Warriors of Chaos player using that. That Soul Stealer probably would have killed Valkia there, but otherwise, you know, she's able to mitigate a ton of that damage and may find a way to survive. Doesn't look like it. Malekith is out for blood today, and he is going to be taking down the Valkyrie of Khorne. But honestly, Valkia has been very solid this game. 2,200 value as she does fall, and will return to the, I'm sure, very warm embrace of Khorne. But she went out on her shield like a true Valkyrie. I mean, that was the way to go, right? And she did great. 2,200 damage. I mean, that might be similar to what Malekith has attained so far, and he's a lot more expensive, so not bad. She's also pretty cheap to resummon, too, so resummoning Valkia isn't like the hardest thing in the world. So will the Dark Elves be able to scrap back? They're really far behind on points. Although up on the high ground, do we see the Bleak Swords doing it? It looks like they did. With the support of some Dark Riders, they're able to overwhelm those Marauders quite easily. This point is in flux here. Looks like some Chaos Warriors should get a head up here, but the Dark Elves should have the capture weight advantage unless the Warriors of Chaos respond with some units here. Down on the low ground, who would have thought the Sisters of Singing Doom being such a Terminator unit? Ripping through all the infantry units, terror routing these Chaos Warriors. Malekith does have the support. Man, this is big too. And the fact that the Dark Elf players managed to keep these Bloodwrack Medusas alive is pretty massive. That's going to be a lot of stopping power, and look how much damage they do. Pretty disgusting against those Forsaken right there. But, you know, they were always kind of mediocre. The Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is problematic because, like, Medusas are good at killing infantry, and, you know, they do have the anti-large halberds, but that's just kind of mediocre, to be honest. Whereas the Soul Grinder is good against everything, highly mobile, regenerating. It's much worse than these things. And you see the Medusa shooting into the Marauders here, doing some nice damage, as the French would say. And here we have the cavalry move again, so the Cold Knight's going to be heading to objective Trace here, and Uno? Yeah, it's objective Uno. And with their anti-large, should be able to clear off a lot of these units. The shooting is quite good from those Medusas. Value on the Siren of Red Ruin is 1,200, and the other Medusa is at about 1,800, so it certainly has done quite well for itself. And do the Druki have the opportunity to get the triple cap here? Looking at objective 3, we do see it being held by the Warriors of Chaos. Okay, that is pretty massive. This is certainly a triple cap situation. The Hellstriders of Slaanesh did arrive to reinforce the advancing Chaos Warriors here. I believe there's some Chaos Warriors. So this objective is stabilized by the Dark Gods. And objective number 2 down here is being taken by the Dark Elves as well. But the Dark Elves don't have a ton of capture weight on the battlefield. Here comes the Sisters of Singing Doom, going to be trying to reclaim this objective while the Medusas roast these Forsaken that are on their way in. Cold One Knights do rampage and beat down that Chaos Sorcerer. That's a really, really nice pick. I don't know what was left in the pool for Magic, but oh, Valky is back. Cue the Stone Cold Steve Austin music. She has been sent back by Khorne once again to finish the job. So Valkith is going to be running, taking a little bit of friendly fire damage, it looks like, from the Medusa. I think he did. He took a couple hundred HP there. And Valkia for sure wins at this point. But Dark Elf's going to be securing Objective 2. Objective 1 is going to go to the Druki. But the thing is, they're going to have to rotate pretty damn hard to get up on Objective 3. Arnheim is a deceivingly big map from side to side. I mean, it looks small when you look at the mini-map, but, like, man, you can really feel the distance when you waddle between those three objectives. I think it's the hill that really makes it feel that way. So Slavnir there, not going to be bad, does hit those Blackguard. I like the call into the Blackguard by the Dark Elves, like the elite units just kind of hold while we do get some Marauder Horsemen moving in, get some excellent Javelin play. 15 leadership, probably a mistake charging there, honestly. Maybe should have just kind of Javelin 1 or 2 more times to try and break one of the Medusas. Because now they're going to just get run over by the Sisters, most likely. Although this Medusa's at -6. If it gets the break here, it was definitely worth it. And it does get the break, and the other Siren is very, very low as well. So maybe those Marauder Horsemen will get the job done after all. But the Witch King has fallen. Valkyrie the Bloody does get the hunt. We do see Malekith falling here. So nice pick there by the Valkyrie of Khorne. Vengeance has been unleashed here. Up on the high ground, objective is owned by the Warriors of Chaos, and Chaos is just calling in Marauders here, using their Hellstriders of Slaanesh to keep the reinforcements from getting to the point. And it's getting a little bit dodgy because Chaos still has a little bit of cap pressure on the other side. Some Forsaken moving in. I think just allocating the Colden Riders to defend the side objective would be the play. One Medusa does get fully broken. The other one is stabilized at about 600 HP. And the Blackguard are now on the middle point. And there's not really going to be a whole lot that the Warriors of Chaos have here that can deal with the Blackguard. But Chaos is just going to be really gamey on the objectives at this point. They're just going to be moving as the Blackguard fighting to defend the injured Malekith. That's my headcanon here. Malekith is like wounded on the ground, and the Blackguard are defending him. Although in Dark Elf culture, they would probably, I don't know how, maybe they would still defend him. Who knows? He is the Witch King after all. But Siren of Red Ruin are still active, which is big. It is a source of terror if need be. And here the Sisters of Singing Doom do get attacked by the Hellstriders of Slaanesh with the Hell Scourges, and they should be able to win that fight, but their anti-infantry bonus won't be kicking in, so it's not going to be quite as much. Although 57 melee attack is 57 melee attack. On this side, Cold Knights fending off the Forsaken. We do see a triple cap here for the Dark Elves. Warriors of Chaos still fighting though, and they really just need to recapture an objective for a short period of time. Looking at the value, we do see Warriors of Chaos with a lead, but it's a false lead because of the Soul Stealers. So Dark Elves are probably up in value by a little bit at this point. Maybe by like 500, 600, something like that. Could be a little bit more. But the Warriors of Chaos are duking it out. Hellstriders chasing down Dark Riders. Marauder capture weight is on the way in, and another Chaos Warrior is going to be arriving. Meanwhile, on the side point, we do see the Cold One Knights able to dispatch those Forsaken quite easily, and those mutants are going to be routed and chased off the battlefield by the Lancing Velociraptor Cavalry. And back to the middle, Dark Elves have a nice stranglehold on this point. As long as they don't blunder too hard, they should have this game. They've definitely got the field position here. This point is very secure, and they really just need to kind of hold the points long enough to get it to not be a triple cap, where they could just sit on 2 points. And I think that's going to be the game plan here. Dark Riders arriving. Dark Elves are a very mobile faction, very fast, very furious. And with the Hellstriders arriving, we might see a break on some of these units. Crows of Cain routed off by Valkia. And the Hellscourges also might be able to break the Dread Spear, sitting firm at 9 leadership. With Malekith being gone, leadership is a big problem. More Cold Wind Knight's going to be on the way in, and Warriors of Chaos calling a Manticore and Chaos Warriors. All right, so we can do a little bit of fast forwarding here. I personally think it's probably over. I haven't watched this game, so I'm not sure, although, hold up. Chaos Warriors have some Warriors here, and they do also have Marauders and Hellscourges. Okay, I'm starting to see why they have the capture weight. So Dark Elves need to get this objective back, ladies and gentlemen. This is very dodgy for them, because currently, Dark Elves will lose if this objective flips to Chaos, and Chaos just holds it for the remainder of the game. That is very, very scary, and it looks like it does go. The Black Guard have made it to the top of the hill, and they will defeat Chaos Warriors, but it's going to take a while, and the Chaos Warriors are blocking them off the objective. The Dark Elves are going to want to force path everything through. The way they're kind of blobbing here, certainly not great for them. Granted, the Chaos Warriors might just get terrified here. You can see they're frightened, very, very scary. And the Crows of Cain are going to be rear charging, which will probably lead to a Terror Rout actually reasonably quickly. Ooh, sneaky Chaos. We get some Horse Masters coming down here in the low ground. 1,400 points. It's becoming a very close game here, guys. I actually thought that was over, and I'm like, wait a second. Valkia is still here. We have a decent amount of fighting. These Chaos Warriors are holding like absolute chads against overwhelming numbers. And a bit of a blunder, like I said, from the Dark Elves. If they had gotten some of the units around the side, they could have gotten more capture weight. Because currently the Black Guard are providing capture weight, but not the Sisters and not the Bleak Swords, which is really rough. I mean, if they lose the game, that is why, for sure. So looking up here, we have the pencil formation. The Bleak Swords are in marching column, just like in tabletop. It would be pretty cool if you're in this formation, if the units move faster. They're way more vulnerable or something. It'd be kind of fun. Dark Elves look like they're going to flip it, although in the low ground, we do see Marauder Horsemen trying to steal this one, and I think Dark Elves get this one back. We do see Valkia here, but there's no way she's going to be able to deal with the Black Guard and the Sisters of Singing Doom. The elite Druchii infantry have done well. So that point is flipped. We do see the Hellscourges on their way up to try and steal the back point. Is there any play here? It is a double cap, pretty firm, with Bleak Swords in the middle, and it's soon not going to be a triple cap situation. He does call in Horsemen, and looks like he wants to go for a bit of an alpha strike on the side objective. Nice play here, using the Hellscourges to block the reinforcements. Well, the Horsemen get there, and I think it's not going to matter. It's going to take a second to flip this. We do see 1,400, and it's not more than doubling. Okay, so at this point, the Dark Elves will win just barely on 2 points, and I think that the Warriors of Chaos player probably knows this. High ground is pretty secure. He does make an attempt on the middle, but the Bleak Swords there will be able to hold it, and the Dark Elves do win the game. GG, what a match. That got really close there at the end. Cool to see Malekith and the Medusas duking it out with Valkia. That was a lot of fun. Value here, 1,921. 32 on Malekith, the Chad King. He was an absolute raid boss. Black Guard. Sisters of Singing Doom might have actually won that game. The fact that they peeled Valkia when she was being very dominant and very disruptive was big. So I think they might have been the sleeper MVP. And the Chaos Army was pretty rad, honestly. It was well-rounded, had a lot of good tools. Honestly, a lot of it just came down to execution on both player sides. Valkia should have made more of a concerted effort, probably to kill the Medusas and ignore Malekith initially. And I think that might have won them the game. But yeah, GG, well played. That was really fun. The Fire Magic was good. Now, what else do you want to bring? I mean, Death is pretty good as well. Metal isn't bad. I mean, tons of option for Warriors of Chaos. So anyways, GG, well played. See you guys around, and you guys take care of yourselves.